Alright, so I thought I'd do something a little bit different this time, and I am going to just read through the 1.6 patch notes that came out earlier this week, and just kind of give my thoughts as I go. So let's get into it. Yeah, it's kind of biggest thing, new hero, Yamat. I'll probably do a separate video, either with a playthrough or maybe running through the character. But anyways, looks really sweet. So the first balance change here, 2 base aura slots instead of 1, and now we've got a maximum of 5. I think this is really good. Of course, we'll make builds a bit stronger, so like be probably a little bit easier once you get to like the 4th world Zodiacs and the final boss. But just a lot of changes they've made in recent patches with the giving more synergy when giving you auras, and the kind of baby dragon free aura at the beginning, and combining auras. It just felt like I was maxing out my builds way more often. So having that extra room, I think will be good. Not to have to just make tough cuts when it comes to the build. And two, we'll get into this later, but with some of the balances they did with the auras, I think they've nerfed some of the most broken auras that exist in the game. So even though builds will in general get stronger, I think actually beating the game is probably going to be maybe even a little bit harder, just because the really broken exploits are gone. So I think all in all, this kind of smooths the power level of different builds, making the really broken things gone and making everything else touch stronger to compensate. So I think that's great. New auras, 23 new astral auras. I've got them here. There's not too much to talk about because most of them have effects that I have not played with yet. So I can't really speak too much on explosive missiles or what a Yali skyship does. Most of them are like that. But I think astral auras are great just in terms of just like gameplay variety and build variety. It's just, so really excited to try all these out. So really awesome that they're still adding new astral auras into the game. Here, changing the way that the Andromeda's bar works with the Zodiacs. So now 1 new Zodiac appears every single world, rather than just having 2. I think all in all probably makes the game a little bit easier, because the first world Zodiacs are by far the easiest. So and then from there, just gonna increase your chance of getting the I do think the Zodiac summons, I guess, aren't balanced super well. I think Capricorn is far and away the best, and now you just double your chances of finding him in there. So it's not good or bad. The Kingdom buffed, more chance of Astral Aura spawn. That's great. We've got all these new Astral Auras, more chances to try them out. Echo Island, you got 3 rerolls now instead of 1. I think I mostly dislike this. Kind of going back to the whole just like gameplay variety thing. Like, I know I've got my particular auras or echoes that I think are better than all the other ones. And I already just reroll if I don't see it in order to grab it. Now I'm just going to hard reroll for them. I think the one time that like this will be kind of nice is honestly going to be Yali builds, just because the Papa Yali Echo is really good for those. And so now if you're like have a Yali aura, just being able to hard reroll for the Papa Yali Echo, I think, is much more feasible. So I guess that's the silver lining for that in my mind. So Fire Shield, if it's already active, create a pulse that applies to more burn. I think just makes it so like stacking Fire Shield gambits and whatnot will be better. I think it's good. And kind of same deal with Ignition. Now, if they're already ignited, apply to burn. And then reduce combustion damage. I'm sure that was to compensate for that. I think it's a good change. Icons are displayed previewing the zodiacs inside Andromeda's bar. That's, I guess, nice. So you don't need to go in to check who's there. If you're into speed running or something, that'll be good. New icons displaying auras. Nice. It's helpful. All right, so here's the big thing. Balancing the auras. Most of these are just kind of buffs to the kind of middling ones. You'll notice a lot of buffs for fire auras, and here's why. They've nerfed the two extremely broken fire auras. So yeah, Ignited Scar now has a cooldown before you'll apply Ignition again. Before it would just trigger critical hits easily enough that you just have Ignite over everyone on the entire, like every enemy on the screen constantly. I'm assuming this cooldown's on the aura, not per enemy. So I think Ignite lasts 4 seconds. So like against a boss, you're still going to have Ignite going like most of the time, but still, yeah, much needed nerf there. And here is, I think, far and away the best aura in the game. Prior to this, Blazing Scars, they've changed the way the mana regen works, so it's now 100% chance on a 4-second cooldown instead of just 5% chance per hit. Yeah, this thing just completely trivialized the game before, where I don't like. There's a gameplay pattern that just the whole game was kind of balanced around where like you'd use your spells and you'd try to weave in basic attacks in order to get the mana back to cast more spells. And when you had Blazing Scars going, instead you just casted spells, and the cast spells get the mana back to cast more spells. And yeah, it was just completely broken. So it was really easy to turn on to, like just like put on a gambit and Blazing Scars will start triggering. So yeah, no more cheesy wins abusing that. So very, very good change. Because yeah, there's times where I'd try to avoid grabbing this just because I felt like it invalidated a win. Yeah, don't need to feel that way anymore. All right, here's another really, really nice change. So yeah, added mana regen to a lot of the weapon passives. So this was really good. A lot of these I would just avoid because I feel like they like actively were worse than just not having any passive at all. So something like the Kali homing spear, like you'd go check out the spear with an attack and then come back, and the whole time you're not getting mana back, and it's preventing you from using your basic attacks. And like it dealt pretty good damage, but when you got to the end of the game, like that all the time you'd get a lot of basic attacks off because your attack speed would increase, and that's all mana regen that you're not getting back, and it's spells you're not dealing. And yeah, just not good. So yeah, all these really good to get mana regen on. I've only tested a few of these, but I do want to know that the mana regen is different Like it varies per spell. So the Kali Service Spear, effectively it's like 2 hits on the way out, then 1 basic attack hit on the way back. So kind of like worth 3 basic attacks. Like the Wolf Hole one where you, like every 5 seconds, enemies get a mark where if you do an upward attack, it'll pull them in. That's like worth 1 free attack when you do it. The one that I noticed was a really big winner. So the Vampirus one, that is on the Gun Sword, where on mana regen, or not mana regen, on spell refresh, you would get a your next basic attack would split off into 5 projectiles. All 5 of those projectiles restore mana. So if basically like 5 basic attack hits. So that just got way better, and is probably the biggest winner in all these. But yeah, really good change. Other huge change. So added a reactivation cooldown for the following weapon passives. So all of those are the ones that kind of give a buff to your basic attack as long as you have not taken damage in a room. And so now if you take damage, these will come back after a cooldown. When I tested it out on the Burning Bow, it was a 6-second cooldown. So way faster than I was expecting. I thought it was going to be like 30 or 40 seconds. 6-second cooldown. You get it back so fast. So yeah, really big buff for all these. And I really like Kieran's double tap, where it basically doubled your fist punches. So that like is now just like S tier passive. One of the best of the game. So yeah, I think it's really nice. Nothing was quite as annoying as like going to the final boss with one of these and taking a hit in the first like 5 seconds. Judgment Cut, that's the Isla Katana insta-kill. It was basically unusable before. It was so slow. So yeah, was really needed. Increased damage on Centauriu. That's the Kieran Falchion, like floating sword one that gives a projectile on your basic attacks. I haven't played with it. I can't speak much on it. Made the unlocks easier on those reach certain attack or stat thresholds. That's really nice. Buffed the that's the Octave rocket launcher one where you can shoot orbs. That was pretty weak, so seems like a good buff. 1,000 knives. Yeah. They buffed the Pisces clone Zodiac spell. That's really that's good. I think there's kind of a lot of variance in how good the Zodiac spells are. Like the Taurus double slash one just feels way better than the other ones, and it's only 2 mana. So it'd be good either to buff the rest to be that good or nerf Taurus double slash. But I guess this is a step. So these 3 here are all kind of the basic attack augmenting spells. So there's just a nice quality of life where like there's times where I'd like just like fast fall on a quartz 4 times in a row because I didn't want to waste these spell buffs. So that's nice. The Zimzim Infinite Mana Echo now only triggers when there's enemies nearby. I wish I knew what the mana exploit was, because it would have been kind of fun to do it, but too late now. These are the same as those spells there. Shadow clones. Yeah, if this is the attack I'm thinking of, this is a like huge change. Because yeah, that Octave Shadow Clone spell where he like, jumps up and just starts shooting in a massive circle. It was really hard to react to, and it did a ton of damage. So like I've probably died more to that shadow clone attack than anything else. So that's good. That's double post there. Shadow clones no longer spawn in World 1. That's pretty nice. Yeah, they nerfed the HP on shadow clones in Worlds 1 and 2 in the previous patch, and I guess they've decided that is just not enough. Which frankly it wasn't. Like World 1, you probably don't have like a Zodiac summon, like you don't have a build. Like I always hated seeing shadow clones in the early game like that. So yeah, good change. Yeah, the rest just seem like little quality of life type improvements. So anyways, yeah, that there is patch notes 1.6. So all in all, yeah, I pretty much agree with almost all of the changes they made. Yeah, I think they've done a really good job balancing the game. Like also just listening to the community too, like all these coming from the Discord. So yeah, my only thing that surprises me is I keep expecting Electrospheres to get nerfed, and every patch notes it remains untouched. So yeah, abuse it while you can. All right, thanks for watching.